So welcome back to another episode of Baseball Ready. I'm your host, Russ Riba, and this is season 1. This is the second episode, so we're calling it the bottom of the first, because the first episode was top of the first. I got a little baseball theme going on here. This one's called the short umpire. We're going to start with yet another idiotic baseball riddle, because I have been... Sorry, that was my dog shaking out fur all over the... Now he's stretching. I've heard that people like these stupid baseball riddles, so I'm going to keep going until the majority of you say, all right, enough is enough. So, idiotic baseball riddle for this episode. Why was the baseball player's food always dirty? I will give you that answer in a bit. But it's bad. It's just bad. You guys like it? Fine.
This is Baseball Ready, the podcast.
All right, let's get baseball ready. Parents, you are so mean. So mean. Do you realize that your kids might be better ball players today if no parents were not allowed at the games at all? Because they would be more focused. Everything would be just smooth and drama-free. So if you've ever been to Cooperstown Dreams Park, the setup is great. You would know why the dugouts are designed the way they are. So you've got the dugouts, and they are just boxed off. It's green plywood, and the players sit in the dugout. You can't bring little Johnny his Gatorade because you forgot to feed him or give him the drinks that he needs. No, it's the parents sit, and it's not the greatest view, but the parents sit from like third base on to the left field, the left, foul line, all the way back to left field, or on the first base side from first base all the way out. Part of it is covered for the parents for when it's raining. It rains a lot. And then there's an open area where you're just soaking in the sun, but you're further out to the outfield. Where you've got between home plate and first, that's the dugout area. And that is where the kids are. And they're just like sequestered, cordoned off, however you want to say it. There's no communication whatsoever. That's the way it should be. And that's one of the things that makes Cooperstown Dreams Park such a great experience. If you've got a kid in travel baseball that will be in 12U, make sure you're on a team that's going to go to Cooperstown. And Cooperstown Dreams Park, I've heard great things about the other one, but Cooperstown Dreams Park is an experience like no other. But anyway, back to the point here. Parents ruin youth baseball games. I'm guilty myself. So I'm going to show you a clip in just a moment, but I want you to remember these, I guess we'll call them rules when your kids play youth baseball. You've got to keep this in mind because this is just the way it is. Your kid is going to the MLB. It doesn't. Your kid is so good and should be never on the bench. Should never be on the bench because your kid is going to the MLB. Now, some kids will end up growing up and going to the MLB. I'm not going to tell you the statistics, but I would go ahead and look them up. You will be. You're probably going to be disappointed. But as far as we're all concerned, hey, your kid's going to the MLB. That's rule number 1. Don't you forget it, because your kid is awesome. Number 2, you as a parent, you know every rule of Little League, Pony League, Dixie, Cal Ripken, USSSA, Perfect Game. You know every rule of baseball because you're a parent. You're a parent of a kid that's going to the MLB, so you know the rules. You know how to interpret every balk. You know how to interpret every drop third, interference, obstruction, because you are an awesome baseball parent. You know all the rules. We don't need umpires. All right. Number 3, if a call is made against your kid or your kid's team, Come on, it's the wrong call. We all know that. You know that, right? If your kid is batting and a ball comes kind of right down the middle and he doesn't swing, it's a ball, right? Right. Okay. So who knows better? You do. All right. Number 4. While your kid is in the batter's box, trying to get signs from the coach, trying to focus on the situation, trying to read the pitch that's going to be coming at him, what you should be doing, you should be constantly telling him or her what he's doing wrong. During that plate appearance, you should be behind the fence in his ear, because it's not distracting at all to hear mom or dad giving tips like drop your shoulder or get closer to the plate or squish the bug, bend your knees. I am so guilty myself. But just remember, that's what you should be doing as a parent, right? Do you see rules 1 through 4? Can you sense a little bit of sarcasm here? All right, listen up. You shouldn't just sit there and cheer on your kid and enjoy the game. That's not what you're there for. You should inject yourself into every aspect of the game. Let the umpire know that they suck. Be loud. Tell them it's the wrong call. They're going to, you know what's going to happen? If you're out there and you're loud and you tell Blue that was the wrong call, he's going to make it up to you. The next time your little Johnny is up to bat, everything that he doesn't swing at is going to be a ball. He's going to make it up to you. I promise. Right? Okay. So you've got to remember these things. Tell them it's the wrong call. They'll make it right for you. And then they'll even come out to you after the game and they'll say, hey, little Johnny's mom, let's thank the baseball gods that you are here, because without you barking in my ear all game, nobody would know the definition of what can we call it, a baseball Karen? Your kid's team lost by 12 runs. I think that speaks for itself. Now listen, one of the things my wife always said, an umpire should never decide the outcome of a game. Respect the game. The baseball should decide how it is. There are bad umpires out there. There are good umpires that make bad calls. It happens. We're human. They're human. All right. So rule number 5, if the umpire gets mad at you, it's because he's upset with the fact that he's short. This is what we're getting into, hence the title of the episode. So this is a clip that I'm going to play for you. It comes from Close Call Sports on YouTube. This clip, I think, is actually about 5 years old, or at least that's when it was posted. So take a look and take a listen to the clip, and then we're going to unpack it afterwards. Here we go.
Enough. I'm not hearing another word of the game.
Then be fair.
No, wait a second. Did you just hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, do you want to have a game here?
Chill out.
Quiet down.
It's a baseball game.
Hey, stay professional for the kids and just do your job.
Come on.
That's it.
Come on.
Are you mad because the kids are taller than you?
Wow. See you later. Thanks. Take care, Ariel. Sorry. You're out of control.
Ridiculous.
Okay. 5 minutes before I drove anywhere.
All right, so I'm going to have to unpack that. The umpire says, enough. I'm not hearing another word out of anyone. That's where we picked up the video. So who knows what led up to this, but the parents apparently were getting squirrely enough for the plate umpire to stop the game, turn around, and say, enough, I'm not hearing another word out of anyone. So instead of everybody say, you're right, Blue, let's continue on with the game for the kids, instead of that, they all kind of fueled each other. And then you had the fans. One of them said, chill out, be fair, and stay professional for the kids. Just do your job. This is what they're saying to the umpire. Chill out, be fair, stay professional for the kids. And maybe that is good advice for the umpire, but here's some good advice for the parents, to all parents. Chill out. Be fair. Stay professional for the kids. Just do your job. Parents, you have a job too. All right? This is not about you. This is not about the umpire. This is about your kids and your kids playing a game of baseball. You have a job too, and you should do that job. There's another fan that said, and this is where I laughed, "Are you mad because the kids are taller than you?" This is after he set the stage of, I don't want to hear another word. Basically, let's get back to baseball. Parents, calm down. She had to throw that in. Are you mad because the kids are taller than you? So this is obviously something he can't control. He can't control his height. And the reason why I, have a little bit of sympathy for him, because I, too, am short. And if somebody said that to me, I don't know that I would have left the game, but for him, that was the last straw. And again, I don't know what led up to that moment, but obviously it was bad enough for him to do what he did. So she had to get that last stab in, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he said, that's it, I'm done. He even reached into his pocket and said, sorry, and threw something. I hope he didn't throw his little indicator away, because those indicators are, you get used to them, and it's like, there's only one indicator that I like to use, so I'm hoping he didn't throw that away. But and then there was another fan as he's walking away. I'd cool off for 5 minutes before I drove anywhere. That to me is a threat, because basically it's like, what do you mean? What's going to happen if I don't wait 5 minutes? It's almost as if he's saying, let's say it's not a threat. It's almost as if he's saying, you know what, sit in your car for 5 minutes and then come back to this game and officiate it. So, we can continue to barrage insults at you and not let you do your job. Again, he may have been a horrible umpire. He may have been calling a bad game. He may have been doing great, and you just had some parents that might be frustrated because, maybe they were losing badly. So, what umpire wants to officiate a game for kids of parents that behave that way and speak to another adult that way? And then you start throwing out insults. That's when it gets, it's like, all right, I would almost say that was the straw that broke the camel's back, with her saying, are you mad because the kids are taller than you? Does that make you feel like a great person? That, to me, is what a disgusting human being would say to another human being. And I'm not saying that she is a disgusting human being, because she may have just been in the heat of the moment and thought that was a great little, a quip to say, and there was even a couple of chuckles after that. So poor short umpire. All right, so let's get down to the baseline. The takeaway from this episode: bring some duct tape. Carefully place it over your cookie hole when you're going to watch your kid play. Are you the dad that barks in your kid's ear when he or she is at bat? I'm guilty. And if my son is listening to or either of my boys are listening to this, I apologize. Sometimes we just can't help it, but I admit it is wrong. So I need to take my own advice. Just record your kid. Get your smartphone. Record your kids at bat. Go over the video well after the game is over. If there's something that you feel that your kid is doing wrong, but then we're going to get into this. Make sure what you're telling your kid when you're going over that video does not counter what the coach is trying to teach your kid to do. If the coach is teaching your kid anything at all. If it's a good coach, have some patience. So, for instance, you get to the point where you're telling your kid, get closer to the plate. I can't tell you how many games I umpire, and I'll hear a dad say, hey, get closer to the plate. He's right, because I'm looking at this batter, and he's way off the plate. A ball will come right down the middle, and he will probably barely get a piece of it, and he will foul it off. So he's not saying it over and over. He says it once. I'm okay with that. I even will turn back and I'll give a thumbs up to the dad that said it, basically letting him know that he's right. I'm not going to tell the kid to get closer to the plate as an umpire because it's the coach's job. If the coach is not doing his job, maybe your kid is on the wrong team. But when you keep chirping and losing the focus, your kid's losing focus because all he hears is dad, it's not a good thing. So just record. If you think your way is better than what the coach is doing or not doing to make your kid a better baseball player, then you need to coach a team or find your kid a team with a better coach. If you're one of those parents that are loud enough, focus here. If you are one of those parents that's loud enough for the umpire to hear you trying to officiate the game, or even worse, you're loud enough for the kids to hear you reminding them that they made an error. They already know they made an error. You don't need to be that mom or dad that says, "Oh, come on, that's an easy play." You know what? I don't see you out there. Trying to field a screaming ground ball that's coming at you. They're kids. They're human. They're already beating themselves up. They know they made an error. They don't need to hear their mom or somebody else, their teammate's mom or dad, saying something. So just keep that in mind. You hear the chattering in the dugout. Oh my God, tell your mom to shut up. Come on. Or, I'll hear my kid after the game and he says "Oh, so-and-so's little Johnny's mom needs to stop." We all hear it. We hear it in left field. All right. Here's another thing for you parents that like to bark when there's a bang bang play at first base. There's no such thing as tie goes to the runner. You know why? Because there's no such thing as a tie. It's near impossible for a tie to even happen because it could be down to the millisecond. And it could look like a tie, but something happens before the other. So either safe or out is the call. You can't say, tie goes to the runner, so the runner is safe. And it's going to go one way or the other. The umpire is there to make that judgment call. Let the umpire make the call. If the umpire makes an awful call, which we do all the time, let the coaches appeal it. If it's an appealable call, watch your kid play a game. Don't train your kid to be embarrassed to have his or her mom and dad in the stands. You don't want to be that parent. You don't want your kid to say, "Yeah, you can just drop me off at the game and go get something to eat or go get something to drink or whatever." All right. So I can't tell you how many times over the years my kid has said that with the so-and-so's mom, Johnny's mom is needs to be quiet already. We hear her from the outfield. Stop. Just stop. Watch your kid play. Talk to your kid about it after the game. Here's what I'm going to end this with. Oh, you know what? I have to end it with the riddle, but I'm going to say this: it's okay to be passionate. It's not okay to be not okay, and you know what behavior you partake in that's not okay. So just stop. Just don't ask the umpire if they're upset because the players are taller than him. Are you upset because the players are taller than you? Don't be that. Don't do that. And by the way, this was a 13/14U game. So, all right, let me see. I don't even think I have the answer to the what was the riddle? You want the riddle? Why was the baseball player's food always dirty? Because he was always stepping on the plate. Please stop me from doing these.
Be sure to subscribe to keep listening to awesome episodes of Baseball Ready. You can see us on YouTube and listen on your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more.